Yo, 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 yo. Let's check the check. There we go. Got the volume on in there. So, as usual, let a few people get in here and I'll chop right into it. This is impromptu because I had other things that I would like to do other than this, but it's very mounting uh, because I've come across a few things that I would like to share with you all, of course. Let's see here. Let me get it all ready. Uh, okay. Um, Application. I would like to do. No. Oh, you know what? I'll just move it over to the Chrome tab from here. That's what I'll do. Forgot I can do that. Let's see if I can just one for one it. Nope, I can't. I'll just copy it here and paste it to another one. Okay. Yep, that'll work. So now, um, all right, and then let me go back. Cancel this. Sorry, I'm never ready. What's good up any? What's good any of you? Let's see here. Now let's try it again. I have to keep changing my screen size. Okay. Um, let's go to Chrome tab. Okay. Okay. Maybe I can make it a little bigger. Let's see. There we go. And then we go over to this. And we're going to talk about a few topics today. But I'm going to uh, chop them up into probably different streams and videos. So I'm going to do some pre-recordeds. Um, but as you can see from the title, men's descent from rationality. Y'all just don't learn. And this is going to come into many forms. It's going to come into the form of what I'm going to show you on the screen. We've already we've been dealing with it for a long time. You know, people have their opinions about not having giving or not giving the cops a reason to shoot you. From the white side, they say, well, if he had just listened, and from the black side, we say, well, they shouldn't have shot him down like that, but he was in the wrong. Throughout the various ways that we look at when something happens to a black man. If you notice, we rarely put stipulations on black women about what they should or shouldn't have done when they get shot. Just want to put that one out there. I'm not going to dive into that, but because that's another topic in itself. But obviously, men and women, we have different expectations that are put on us by society. Not saying that we should adhere to the expectations of society, but that is a telltale sign that the inherent responsibilities of individual men and individual women are completely different. I mean, society it is based off a lie, but it has some truths in it because those things are ever present. And, the truth is ever present. Um, so there are some truths to the things that society engages in and the reasons why. But it is up to you to discern what the intention of the truth that is being used and how it's being used could play a form in your life. That's what I would say to everyone. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get right into the video. Hopefully, my audio is okay. I've been trying out new things, but It's a really short video. As you can see, it's uh, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. But we're gonna get right into it. Hold on for a second. Let's see. We gotta hit that good old audio. God. Damn, I wish I didn't hit him. You hit him? I hit that nigga 4 times. Oh, God. Oh, God, I hit that nigga. I don't know I'm gonna shoot this bitch. Oh, God, I hit his ass about 4 times. The fuck you running for, nigga? I'm already pissed off, bro. God, make the news, make the goddamn hood make the news tonight. Nigga wanna play. Put his ass in the hospital that quick. God, I do not fucking play. That nigga be going to the hospital tonight. For real? Oh, God. These bitches gonna put him in the hospital. These full metal jackets. That bitch would have ran. I would have put another guy. Man, mother clip at man. Reload my other clip at Oh, God, they got the police and shit now. Oh, God. Oh, my mama. Might take us the parkway all the way down. Take me back to my side. I don't fucking play, nigga. As you can see in the video, there is a woman that is with him. Can y'all hear me pretty good? Just making sure. I don't know. Hopefully you can hear me good. But there is a woman that is with him, and she's not telling him, "Hey, you probably shouldn't be doing none of this. This is stupid." Um, there are better things you can probably be doing with your time. You should probably uh, figure out something else to do. I mean, you already shot the dude, so uh, you know, preserve yourself. I don't know what the situation was, why the circumstances rose to what they are, but it is what it is according to what we see on the screen. Hey, what's going on, Mike Indra? What's going on, Esoteric? What's going on, Raymond Henson? Herndon. Herndon, there we go. Raymond Herndon. But nonetheless, they say two heads are better than one. But in this case, it seems that they don't have enough brain cells between the two of them to make a good decision based on what the circumstances are. But I'm gonna go back and play it again because it's such a short video. But there's a lot in here. There are a lot of points in here that can be made just in the short video. So I'm gonna rewind it, and then I want you guys to pay attention to the context of the situation and the people who are involved. So let's see here. God. Damn, I wish I didn't hit him. You hit him? Yeah, I hit that nigga 4 times. Oh, God. Oh, God, I hit that nigga. I don't know I'm gonna shoot this bitch. Oh, God, I hit his ass about 4 times. The fuck you running for, nigga? I'm already pissed off, bro. God, make the news, make the goddamn hood make the news tonight. Nigga wanna play. Put his ass in the hospital that quick. God, I do not fucking play. Now, what it looks like from what he is doing is he's live streaming himself. I mean, the caption says, "Man snitched on himself while on live and gets arrested." And I hit him 4 times, quote unquote. So obviously he's on live. So you mean to tell me that not only are you sitting next to someone who it clearly is not in your best interest, because somebody who's actually your friend, someone who actually cares about you, would want to see you in a circumstance that is going to be beneficial to your overall direction in life. And obviously, what he's doing is not that, because I can clearly see it. I don't know him, nor do I know the circumstances either. But nonetheless, no one is telling him This is not how you should behave. So the woman that is sitting next to him, which obviously she is against him, in my opinion. If they're not for you, they're against you. I don't believe in neutrality. But um, the woman that is sitting next to him is not advocating for him to do anything differently than what he is doing, which is, of course, is going to end in a situation that he necessarily doesn't need to be in. That is not going to be contributing to his forward progression in life. But anyway, let's continue.
That nigga be going to the hospital tonight. For real? Oh God. These bitches gonna put him in the hospital. These full metal jackets. That bitch when I ran, I would have put another goddamn mother clip at man. Reload my other clip at. Oh God, he got the police and shit.
So not only is she not telling him, hey, this is probably not something that you can do, or I don't even want to be involved in this circumstance. Okay, so the guy has committed himself to potentially causing his own demise, or putting himself in a situation that is jeopardizing his future and his possibility of being prosperous in life. Fine, if he wants to do that, but why are you the dummy sitting next to him, riding along with him? Why? Why are you the dummy? I mean, if you know, if anybody wants to throw their life away, fine. But I'm not going down with you. I don't want to throw my life away. You feel me? I don't want to do that. That's not something that I plan to do with my life at any point in time. So if there is a situation that arises that is pointing me in the direction that someone else is throwing their life away, and they want me to go down with them, sir, I'm going to have to pass. Drop me off if you're at your nearest convenience at the next stop, please. We're gonna have a conversation about this before this goes any further. But not only did that conversation not happen, he said, "Load my gun up again," and she promptly grabs it. But when the cops come, oh, I didn't know, I had nothing to. Of course, that's what she's gonna say. But she, as you can see, she is an accomplice automatically to whatever this situation is, whether it be a crime or not. She is an accomplice. But we all know that this is going to end in fuckery. We all know that. It's nothing to speculate here. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep playing.
Oh no, oh God, oh my mama. Take us to Parkway.
He say, "Oh my mama," but I don't know if your mama would probably be once she's doing something like this. But anyway, whatever.
All the way down, take me back to my side. I don't fucking play, nigga. My mama. Pull up and air shit out broad day. My mama. Look good on the news. Fuck. Shit a game and it's not, bro.
Every time I seen a mama on the news in regards to what her son did, she always said that he was a good kid. That's what I heard. I ain't never heard a black mother go up on stage after her son, something happened to her son, her say he was the most horrible person I've ever known in my entire life, and he needs to be exactly where he is. I ain't never seen it. I ain't saying it happened. It didn't happen. But what I'm saying is that is not what media is telling us. So anyway.
Damn, here they come this way. Turn that Lakewood, turn that Lakewood. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God, oh my. And that bitch turn around, I'm out on foot.
He's talking about the cops, by the way. He's talking about the cops. So he had all that bravado for somebody he just shot, but just the mere cop driving past him is enough for him to buckle it on down. He probably putting his seatbelt on. He like throw the weed out the window, but you just shot a dude 4 times. Where was all that bravado then? Where was it? Well, let's continue.
That bitch ain't turning around, nigga.
Get out my face.
I'm my mama.
Get out! Get out!
Go, go, go. Hey. shit. What I do? Don't shoot, man. I ain't got shit. You can search.
I'm put you in cuffs when we figure this out.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, you're all compliant. Wow, look at that. Look at that. You're so compliant when the cops come around. Isn't that just interesting? It's so interesting that you talked all this bravado stuff about shooting somebody else, you know, and you was gonna swing back around and you was gonna shoot him again, and that was gonna be the circumstance. But soon as the cops come, where did the bravado go? Where did it go? What happened to it? What happened to, oh, you having your chest puffed out all big and bad, when you dealing with probably another black man. But as you can see, it was a white cop nonetheless. He formed compliancy automatically. I ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing. But he was just on live, as you can see from the caption, admitting to exactly what he did. So you mean to tell me that, in the face of probably hundreds of people who probably were watching that live, you're gonna sit there and tell them exactly what you did, but soon as the law comes, there goes your honesty out of the window. Where's your principality? But these would be the first dudes claiming that they are about something. They live a life that nobody else live, and they the realest quote unquote nigga on the streets. Well, tell that to the cops then. Tell that to the cops. I mean, what was the? I don't remember the guy's name who stole that car and ended up getting shot. But this is pretty much how these things turn out. You got all that bravado, you got all that misdirection. You know you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, but yet when the cops come, somebody come get my ass, right? I ain't did nothing, right? But at the same time, these are the men that the women idolize in these communities. These so-called, I don't even know what you want to call them. I wouldn't even call them thugs, because the thugs that I knew back then, they have a shootout with the cops right there, honestly, and they'll tell them, I don't care what your law say. Them the thugs I knew. I don't know what to call these guys these days. I I can't say that they thugs. So I'm not going to discredit the actual thugs out there. These dudes, I don't know what they are, but they ain't thugs. Ruffians, I guess you can say. Detractors, I don't know. What do you want to call them? But nonetheless, you had so much bravado. Where did it go? Where did it go? Well, anyway, let's see what's going on in chat. What's going on, BGS? What's going on, BJ? Good to see y'all in the building. Everybody's here. But nonetheless, I don't understand where these guys come from with this. You know that you're doing something wrong. You know that's what I mean by this descent of rationality, because the rational sense should tell you that whatever it is you're doing, you should be applying some type of rational sense to it. But as you can see, there's a complete contrast to what he was doing and what he got caught doing. You see what I'm saying? At 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 the point of what he was doing, he had a high sense of bravado about himself. But when he got caught, not necessarily saying that he was caught in the crime, but I guarantee you they review those tapes, they're going to charge him with something. If he committed a crime in the first place, allegedly, if that's the case. But let's just say that he did commit a crime. The first thing you say, I didn't do nothing. Your descent from rationality is gone. Oh well, is there. Your ascendance to rationality is gone. You start to descent from rationality because you're not standing on anything. Either way, it's either you're going to be a thug or you're going to be a coward. Pick one. Don't let the circumstances choose exactly who you should be. You should be exactly who you are the whole entire time. Like I said, I'm not going to discredit actual thugs on this stream. I'm not, though I don't agree what they do, and I'm not a thug myself, but at least they have some principality about themselves in order to stand firm in what they believe in. I'm not going to sit here and say that somebody shouldn't be doing something or somebody should be doing something. Yes, I do have a moral compass in regards to how we should be conducting ourselves as men. But at the same time, I'm not going to say what a man should or should not do with his life if he so chooses to do with his life. But at the same time, where I'm dinging him at is because you are not standing on anything that is worth anything to yourself. And what I mean by that is that on one hand, you felt that pretending to be a thug was worth something to you, but you toss it out the window as soon as you're faced with adversity that is probably that has more firepower, more legal representation, more everything than you, and you back down. No, go ahead and stand up and be a man. Go ahead and stand up and be a man. Go out in a blaze of glory that you claim to be according to your bravado. Let this natural selection thing take hold of you. Don't run from it. It's going to eventually catch up to you, but meet it when it comes. If you don't want to be in those circumstances, don't put yourself in those circumstances. Simply what I'm saying. If at the end of what you have did in your bravado, you regret it, that is a sad condition to be in because you don't stand firm to who you claim to be. If you claim to be this all-out thug that'll do anything, that'll do whatever it takes, stand on that. We don't need any of y'all in our circles anymore. We don't need any of y'all men claiming to be something that you're not. But when you're faced and called to task on what you claim to be, you back down. I'm not just talking about this as in the sense of he's doing something that he probably shouldn't be doing wrong. Like I said, there are many points to be made just in this video alone. What I'm saying is that this is a theme that we see throughout the black community. You see men claiming themselves and parading themselves around as something that they are not. And until something happens that challenges that ideology that they spit, they are going to keep doing that. But they mislead people in the process. And this is how we end up with a culture where, everybody wants to be a thug, but nobody wants to pay the thug consequences. And a lot of people get hurt and killed as a result of people being something that they are not. Be the law-abiding citizen that you claim to be when the cops approached you the whole time. Be that dude because that's who you truly are. When you're faced with something that brings out something that otherwise than what you claim to be, that's the truth. Like they said, if they show their ass one time, believe them. Believe them. He showed his ass right there on that string. That he is not the guy that he claimed to be. He told his girl, load me up another clip, and she kiki and giggling all in the passenger seat. She telling him to run, baby, run, run, like Day Off Friday, run. Chico gonna get your ass. But my point, everybody was a thug up until the cops came. Everybody was riding high. Everybody was DMX off bellies. These cops can't do shit to me out here, right? What happened? What happened, baby? I thought you had it. What happened, baby? You was there. The cops showed up and then you tucked tail and ran. That's exactly what happened. This is what happens in this community that we have online. You know, people sure, people, and I don't mean it face to face. You was saying all that stuff, but when you're called to task to explain your rhetoric, you tuck tail and run. But you had all that stuff to say. You had all these points to make. But when people call you to task and you're in your face, in front of someone like BGS or Angry Man, you tuck tail and run. Be exactly who you claim to be. Stop the descent of your rationality. Because eventually, yeah, y'all ain't learning right now, but you're going to. And it's going to be a hard truth that you're going to have to face. And you may not get out unscathed like you think you are. You're going to pay more consequences by being something that you are not when you're called to task than exactly who and what you are. If you that dude, Be that dude all the time. If you're a coward, be a coward all the time. Don't try to take little shots at people because that's exactly what he did. He took a shot at another man. Apparently, he said he shot him 4 times. You will stand in the face of that, but you won't stand in the face and say, "Yeah, I did it" to the cops. Come on, come on. Or you can just stop the madness. Stop the madness. Stop the irrational behavior altogether. We wouldn't see things like this if men just behaved as what they are instead of trying to prove a point to be something that they are not. That whole why that dude got shot, it wasn't because he was necessarily a thug. As you can see, the dude was in the Air Force. He probably lived a decently clean life. I mean, well, actually, no. It came out that he had a little record, but nonetheless, he was on the move to do something differently than what he had been doing. But no, he reverted back to something that I guess he wanted to do, and he lost his life as a result. How many times are you dudes going to keep rolling the dice on something that you are not until you are called to task to produce exactly what you claim to be? That brings me to my next topic. So, I was going through and I was looking. Kendra did a stream yesterday about that whole, and I had a conversation with her. Afterwards, and I was like, you know what, I might cover some of that. Um, and I'm not going to mention the guy's name or nothing like that because I don't have the foresight, but it's already out there. It's public knowledge. I'm not saying anything nobody probably else hasn't. Oh, I'm not exposing anything nobody else hasn't exposed. So, you know, and I'm not going to talk poorly about the dude. What I wanted to point out are the women. The women are complicit in a lot of this stuff. Don't let no chick boof you up to believe that you can do something that you are not able to do. Just because you got a crowd of women saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. These are not women who are on your side. Women are, let me tell you, if a woman really cares about you, she's going to tell you you probably shouldn't do that. That's not a good idea. Even if she doesn't understand why you're doing it, if you're angry or whatever, just like the dude said in the stream, he said, um, I'm already hot out here. You know, I'm already upset. A woman who's on your side, who's behind you, she's not going to tell you or facilitate you destroying yourself. She's not going to do that. But anyway, let me pull up the other part of it. Hold on, let me go over some of these comments real quick. Actually, I'll just put them on the screen. I probably should get into. Any of you said that's why I moved out of Los Angeles. Yeah, any of the mecca the strag meccas, you don't want to be in there. There's too much goofiness going on. That's what helps fuel it. It's a reciprocal system. The men validate the women for their female fuckery, and the women validate the men for their female fuckery. It's. But anyway, as Tara said, this dude is brain dead. Pretty much. Pretty much. This is what I got from him because he's not making any clear decisions. Not one. Even at the point where he, you, I don't know. I don't know. It's a short video, but it's so much to dissect in there. And we wonder why we're at the bottom. I don't think anybody wonders that anymore. I think we know why we at the bottom. You know, BGS says, ain't nothing done. I ain't done nothing. Exactly. The cop ain't even say nothing to him. I mean, honestly, I think the cop was pulling them over because they probably was doing something, like speeding or something like that. Dude, like he was traveling pretty fast, and you got out the car and ran, you know, and then as soon I ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing, master. Come on, slave talk to me. Some people are just a lost cause. Some, it's a lot. I hope he doesn't procreate. His genes need to die with him. Now you know. Like I just said, in the hood, the promotion and the go aheads on the fuckery is reciprocal on both sides. The women, they're encouraging these dudes to be idiots, and the men, they're encouraging the women to be degenerates as well. He probably got kids. Probably, you know, probably the goofball with the vag next to him will make sure he's replaced almost instantaneously. She probably was texting another dude as he was running, and this will go to show in the next point that I'm going to make. And like I said, there's a lot to dissect in this video, but I want to string it along into where I'm going with this. Uh, but I'm supposed to feel bad for not being hood. Exactly. I think we all got, to be frank, if you grew up in the hood, you got a little bit of hood in you. The hood isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I know, I had to take a breath before I said that because I know how that sounds already. The hood isn't necessarily a bad thing because it teaches you a sense of resiliency. But the thing is, resilient to what once you leave the hood, because you're no longer exposed to the same things. You're no longer exposed to the random gunshots and drive-bys, and people fighting on the street, and you gotta tuck your chain everywhere you go. You're no longer exposed to that. So sure, you learn the resiliency too, but you have to learn how to branch that over into something that actually works outside of the hood. So, and I've done that. My attention to detail, my resiliency to deal with circumstances, to overcome adversity, helped me out immensely in the military. It helped me out immensely. I dealt with stuff people were breaking down on. I mean, we went on 10-mile runs, and we were carrying literal light poles. Like a whole platoon was carrying a light pole. Like I'm talking about, like, the wooden ones that sit on the side of the road with the light that come off of it. Yeah, a whole platoon was carrying one of those. And you think that weight was spread out evenly? No, 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 no. You're gonna feel all of about 130 pounds on your shoulder as you and your platoon carry this for about 5 miles. Resiliency. It helped me, you know. But anyway, let me get off that little tangent. GSL. Let's see. Uh, Basil Basil Lee says, Crimson Cure, you were on fire at the panel with Dr. Johnson. I ain't even see that. I'm gonna have to go check that out. You don't even be telling me when you be on other panels. Womp womp. Anyway, she said thanks. They can't spell the word rational. I see so much of this shit in Los Angeles, but yeah, yeah, it's a common occurrence. But the reason why I'm exhibiting it here is because I want to make a point. I want to make a point. I want this to be on record that that there is a way to conduct yourself as a man, and this is not. Uh, because we have to start somewhere. The men that came before me, they were not teaching on mass. This message reached hundreds of people, and I'm trying to get it to reach thousands of people. I don't care about the notoriety. I want the message to reach, because I know now that there are even less men than there were before, the generation before me, that are teaching this stuff. These men out here, they're lost. They come to our channels, they come to our live chats, and they say, I need help. I don't know what to do in this circumstance. I can't turn to anybody. Nobody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So this space that we have created collectively is a lighthouse to the men who are lost at sea. That's the way I look at it. um, they almost all run. No, that one guy, he got out and started breakdancing. I seen the video in Los Angeles. It was hilarious. They even put breakdance music with it. He was hitting the moves out there. Fake tough guys all over the place. Yes, exactly. Facts. Nobody wants to uh, pay for the asking price. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I don't get it. I don't understand. don't understand. I mean, I get, you try to cut it by, because, you know, playing these roles, there are some benefits to them. There are benefits to them, but there are also consequences that come with these roles. Negative consequences. There are negative consequences, positive consequences. People want all the positive consequences for playing these roles of people who they are not. Portraying themselves to be something, but they don't want none of the negative stuff because they ain't ready for that. Everybody's good with their hand out, but they're not good with keeping their hand out when it says hold this bag, hold this responsibility for that. They're not good with that. Let's see. Uh, going to have a lot of commissary cookies. Yep. Fat bitches need love too, Craig. Even are we the only group of people that put low lives, criminals, idiots, losers, etc. on pedestal? No, no, we're not. We're not. Um, because gangs aren't just in our culture. They're not. They're mostly every culture. I wouldn't say put them on a pedestal necessarily, but they get their foothold by compliant group, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a gangologist. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in a gang in my entire life. Nor do I want to be one. I mean, I guess you can call a military gang, but no, not. I'm talking about the street gangs. I've never been in any of those circumstances. I never wanted to be in one. Um, but for far as my line list goes, every culture has uh, some detractors from civilization. Every culture has some detractors, and it's unfortunate that we have our culture is built off of that. But in certain other cultures, like for instance, like the Mexicans, they don't necessarily like the cartels, but they keep getting numbers for some reason. Whether it be forced into or not. But in some places, they are glorified. They are. They're glorified. So we're not the only culture that does that per se. It's just that we have a really loud voice, compared to everybody else. So we get the spotlight a lot of times, um, and that's just the way it is. Let's see. Nope. Yep. I knew something was wrong with our community when I was a kid, and would get made fun of by the other black kids for getting good grades, while the other kids would pat me on the back. Yep, I said that before. I said that in a grit stream. You got picked on for knowing the answer when the teacher called on you. Like, what kind of goofy shit is that? Like, and they get the programming from the parents. That ain't coming from the other kids. The other kids, kids are sponges, and they absorb this stuff from somewhere. They get that fuckery from the parents. This is where it stops. Right here. It stops with us. We have to do something about this, unless we want to keep on perpetuating the stereotypical stuff that we don't actually want to do. Nobody wants to be a thug. Like, real talk. I mean, it's the only reason why they do is because they like the glorification of it, but they don't like the consequences. That's what I'm saying. You know, you just can't hold your hand out for the good stuff and not expect the bad. Nobody wants to be a thug because of the consequences that come to be with a thug. And I'm not saying they don't want to be a thug because they truly don't want to. No, no, no. They not standing in the face of the consequences and saying bring it, because that's part of being a thug, right? They're not doing that. Nobody wants to be a thug. And until you show me a guy that's like, I want to go to jail behind exactly what I do, I can't call you what you are, because that's part of the consequences, good and bad. You like the money that comes with the lifestyle, you accept that with open hands. Why you ain't accepting this 10 to 20 years with open hands either? No, you trying to fight that, right? Right. Because you don't want the consequences of being a thug. You really don't want to do it, because those are the consequences. You accept the consequences when you take on anything. Like, for instance, if I were to buy a new car, I accept the consequences that I'm going to have to change the oil. I want this car. I want to live this lifestyle where I have a car. So therefore, I have to keep the maintenance up on the car. That is a consequence to having a car. I expect it. I accept it. I open it with, I change my oil before it even needs to be changed. You see what I'm saying? It's a consequence that is negatory to me because it takes away the money that I have in my pocket. But if I want to maintain this car, I am going to do what it takes to maintain it, good or bad. That's the way I look at it. People may say that's a false equivalency. Well, whatever. That's the way I look at it. Every group I've seen does it. Yep, exactly. But we are shy. We aren't shy about it. Yep, that's what it is. I didn't get a chance to send more because I was driving. Uh, I've seen a lot in my 45 years. Yeah, it's pretty. Anybody who's in the know kind of know. You you speak with proper dictation is called talking white. Yeah, exactly. I haven't, I stopped saying that. I say the person speaks proper because they speak proper English. It's proper. They speak very proper. There's nothing wrong with speaking proper. Like my homeboy Truthus, I know it. He is a proper speaker. That's actually the person I was talking about. I was like, Truth speak proper as hell. But I didn't say that he speak white. No. Why am I going to say that? Because that then implies that white people are proper and then we're not because there has to be an antithesis to contrast to in order to call one thing something. You get what I'm saying? So if there's night, there has to be day, right? And if there's proper, there has to be improper. So if I'm calling someone proper, that means that they speak like a white person, proper. That means that everybody else is implied to not speak proper to some degree, in my opinion. That's just the way I look at it. Don't shoot me. I'm just saying. What's going on, Tone Malone? But anyway, let's get into these text messages. I need to get on with it. I've been, but I like to go through the comments. I like to address everybody, as much as I can without drawing this out. But I think I make good points in between that is still good content for you guys to take in as I address the questions and some of the comments that are said in the chat. So, uh, let's get to these Dropbox text messages. What's going on, NC Walker? Worker? Let's see. Let's get into some of these good old text messages. Yes. Let's stop sharing the screen and then reshare it. Y'all got to work with me because, I do things on the fly. I'm on the hip kind of guy. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to zoom in because I want you guys to, uh, I guess nobody knows you can do this. Yeah, you could do that. But anyway, let's go over these text messages. There is a portion of this, like I don't necessarily care about the circumstances in which there is something that I specifically want to point out that has nothing to do with the guy uh, in question in regards to this situation. In contrast to this, let's see, it was hmm, I gotta find it again. Um, uh, there's so much. This I'm very appreciative for him sharing these text messages because these are very. This is a case study in my opinion because it exhibits all forms of female chaos from the hypergamy to the self interest to the projection um, to the back and forth behavior to the lying everything it's pure gold. It's pure gold. It's pure gold. But let's see. I don't care about that. I think it was around about 49, I want to say. Let's see here. Oh, yep, here it is. So, remember when I said that there is always some woman that is going to be in your ear about condoning you facilitating in bad behavior because they don't want to see you do good. They don't. They don't want to see you good. Women, if a woman is going to be in your ear, she's either going to be telling you something that takes away from you and gives to her, or that takes away from her and gives to you. Now, if we understand women correctly, they're better suited in the area that is the latter of what I said. Them taking from themselves and giving to you. Women are by nature are sacrificial, and I'll tell you just frankly by the biology itself. And this is my opinion, but I'm gonna roll with it. By the biology itself, because a woman gets pregnant and she gives of herself to that child in order to incubate it into a full grown human, has it, and doesn't want anything in exchange for it. Not one time does she ask to be paid for this. You know what I mean? Like, a woman gets pregnant. I mean, sure, we can go ladder down the line and say, oh well, she wants child support, this and that, blah 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 blah. They understand that there's consequence of that. But I'm talking about as humans, as we have evolved. There has not been a structure of child support, but throughout time to get where we are, women have not asked for anything other than what they're already getting in order to have children. They give of themselves in order to create life. That's just the facts. I'm not one that's going to advocate and say that, women are the greatest thing on earth because they do this. They're supposed to do this. But the thing is, they don't ask for anything in return. They are very naturally a very let me be free, let me be clear. They are very a woman who is not dysfunctional. You know, she is very appreciative of being chosen to be pregnant, even though that circumstance is taking away from her. It's taking away her beauty. It's taking away her body shape. It's taking away her time. It's giving her a lot of discomfort because this is not a comfortable thing to be pregnant. It's not like you reach some type of euphoria because you're pregnant. No, it's not that great sometimes. And then they go through the childbearing stage of it, and it is excruciating. But yet they give of this. That's why I say that women are more naturally suited for giving of themselves to men. That's what they're here for, in my opinion. I'm just saying, it's just my opinion. Y'all can shoot me if you want, you know. But nonetheless, these text messages, uh, you know, there's always going to be a woman in your ear, somewhere, some shape or form, whether it be your mother, your aunt, regardless. There's going to be a woman in your ear at some point in your life. She's either going to want, like I said, be in your ear about taking away from you and giving to herself, or giving to herself, or giving taken away from her and giving to you. Those are the only two states that she can be in regards to being in your ear about something. Because women they are built to sustain themselves in their own biology, and I don't mean that they are autonomous from the necessity of nature. No, no, no. I'm talking about meaning they have things built in them to always seek out what they believe is in their best interest. So what side are you going to be on? What kind of woman do you want to be on? Because as we seen in that video, there was a woman sitting right next to him. She was in his ear about something, but it wasn't to give to him because she didn't give him anything that was going to be beneficial to the forward progression of who he is as a man and who he could be if he applied potential. Nope. She was in his ear about something that was going to detract him into becoming what it was necessary for him to be. Now I'm going to transition this a little bit. It's not going to be a clean one, but hopefully you get my point of where I'm coming from with this in regards to how I'm going to explain these text messages. The there are women in this world who clearly want to see you do bad. We know this. We call them succubus. We call them strags. We call them hyenas. We have several names for this. The gynocracy, pretty much. How can you, as a man, figure out exactly what this woman is by testing what she's putting in your ear? But anyway, let's get to these text messages. Now, I read through the text messages, I read through a lot of them, but this is something that I found interesting. This woman says, just got asked out on a date. The other woman says, OMG, for when? Um, she says Tuesday. He's taking me out to the steakhouse. Now, and if you have access to the text messages, you can read previous that she's nothing but a user, an abuser. But the thing is, what I want to point out, this guy that she met has no idea she's like this, to the point where he can explain, I know what you did. Like, he may have some inclination that she may be a gold digger or whatever the fuck, but in regards to knowing her personality, he has no idea. This is you, man. This is you. This guy that's taking her out on a date, that's you. That is you. And the reason why that's you, and I'm not saying that you're going to take her out on a date and take her to the steakhouse specifically, but I mean that's you. Because every single woman that you meet, She has a motive in mind. This is why it's commonly understood that a woman knows exactly what she's going to do before she even goes out on a date with a man, up until the point of execution. She knows if she wants to have sex with you. Even the pimps know that the woman chooses first. Everybody knows this, but we get blinded, from our rationality, which I consider the descent from rationality, when we let a woman create an illusion and we chase that, which I'll go into probably in another video. But nonetheless, we chase that. We chase this illusion of what we want her to be, other than what she actually is. But the thing is, you meeting any woman out in the world, you don't know her. You can't check her Carfax. You feel what I'm saying? You can't go to her family because we no longer have that structure. We used to have that structure where we can go to a woman's family and be like, what's her record? How many men have she been with? And they would tell her like, oh, she's been divorced once, or the family would know these things, but we can no longer do that. So you are basically approaching every woman with a she's a good girl image. That's exactly what, because you're not going to approach a woman who doesn't appear to be suitable, are you? Of course not. Of course not. You're not going to approach that type of woman. You're going to approach a woman who you believe is suitable for the things that you are looking for in a woman. And sometimes we judge that by the way she looks, her carries herself, how she talks, etc. But nonetheless, she just got asked on a date. This is you. I'll explain. So anyway, she says, for when Tuesday, he's taking me to a steakhouse. And she says, yes, uh, get his, why? Get his ass to pay for that ticket. Because in these previous messages, uh, she was saying, this is the message beforehand. This is T. I don't even care about that. There's so much stuff in these text messages. I don't have enough time to go over it. Let me stick on topic because I so much want to talk about that, but I'm not. uh, she says, "How are you feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm finna go to the mall. Nice. Um, it's nice to get away from him. If he can't get out of the house." She's talking about the guy that uh, this woman to the right here is living with. I'm about to go over to my aunt's house to see what's up. My cousin from Cali said I can move to a homeless shelter and they'll pay for the ticket over there. If I don't find a trick ass nigga soon to do it and the and then do it, then I'm gone. That's you. That's you. Sure, we can say that men are, we have our wits about us. But remember when I said that a woman knows exactly what she wants out of you before she even talks to you? Though she may not say this up front, though she may be prim and proper, she may appear to be this nice woman, this very exciting woman. This is how she got into this man's house in the first place. She said that she was going to do X, Y, and Z. She said this is what she wanted, and just so behold, you just pick one random chick out of the billions or the millions of women in the world, and this woman fits everything that you're looking for. How ironic, right? How ironic. No, she's creating the illusion based on the stupid ideology that she understands about men, that all you're looking for is a pretty face, somebody that will give you sex, that will potentially maybe cook you some meals and shut the fuck up while you watch football. Maybe rub your back. She knows that. She knows that about you. You know why? Because y'all dudes are in the chats telling them exactly what you want from a woman, and what they do is they find the consistencies that you guys are saying, and then they create this illusion so that when they meet you, it's a one size fit all, and you're not going to call it a task on it because you love that illusion. You love the illusion of what this woman claims and appears to be. So just so you won't mess it up, you won't question it. You won't ask if she's really about that life, because remember what I said. People are creating the illusion of what they are pretending to be until they are called to task, right? So she's going to avoid being called to task, right? So here's the thing. This is you. How this is you is because she didn't say exactly when. She just said at some point in time, I'm going to do this, and I love these comments because there's so much in there. She's talking about how there's a homeless shelter, and if she can't, she'll fall back on the dude. So women understand that they have multiple safety nets, and they can use you in the system to bridge themselves from their poor decisions and their bad mistakes. They'll use you for that. But anyways, let me get back to the topic. What's happening is that she has already decided that she is going to find a dude in order to get this stuff. What she's going to do is she's going to then meet a guy, and then she is going to hold on for a second. She's going to meet a guy, but anyway, she's going to meet a guy, and she's going to have it on her head that she is going to groom you into the man that she wants you to be, up into the point till you pay for that ticket. This could be 2 weeks. This could be 3 months. This can be 4 months, 5 months, maybe even six. If she finds another place to stay, so that she is not homeless, like it says here. If she finds another place to stay where she is not homeless, she can prolong having to get that ticket, right? And that's exactly probably what her circumstances was before the last dude. She found a dude because, as you can see, this isn't something that she just came out of nowhere with. She had been thinking about going to Cali because she mentioned it once before. If you read the text messages, so she's been thinking about this for a while. But she ran across dude, so she ended up in his house, and she was like, I can kick it here for a minute. But her intent was probably to get to Cali, and she milked him for as much as she could. But the thing is, if you read through the text message, she also said she's going to get as much money as she can, and then she's out. This is what she's talking about. She's talking about having a dude pay for a flight to get to Cali. I guarantee you that if this dude would not have came across these text messages, that he would have eventually paid for a flight to Cali because she had been grooming him to the point where she pulled $4,000 to $5,000 out of him. And one would ask, well, isn't that enough money to go to Cali? Sure, it is. But if you know the dude is not going to stop giving you money, why would you go to Cali? At the point where he stops giving you money, then you go to Cali. But that didn't happen up until the point where she got caught. So that's not a plausible possibility, right? But what I'm saying here is there is going to be a woman in your ear telling you something. This is going to be the definition of if you are dissenting from rationality or if you're ascending to rationality. Because what you hear should be, I am going to give of myself and give to you as a man, or I am going to take of you as a man and give to myself. That should be the only thing that you hear a woman say in the verbiage of what she's talking about, the context of what she's saying. And then you call her to task on it. Just so you can dispel if there is any illusion there. Because sometimes women will allude to wanting to take from a man when they really want to give to a man. Because this is a shit test. We talk about these. Nonetheless, you call her to task on that and she will reveal her true self. Because the rationality is what keeps the illusion away. Remember, if you go back to my older videos, I talk about the the rationality and the fantasy world. The rational world meaning the real world and the fantasy world. In that I said that if you do not maintain either one or the other, the one that you do not maintain will die. And that is true in regards to the relationship. If you do not maintain the illusion of something in a relationship and you hold firm to the actual reality of what the relationship is, the illusion will die. And likewise, just like my man's did here, if you hold firm to the illusion over the reality, your reality will die. As you can read through the text messages, he was having difficulties with maintaining his job. He was going through somewhat of a debt problem. His life as a tangible thing was going towards chaos because he was maintaining the illusion that this woman was propping up. But anyway, you don't want to be this guy. You don't want to. I'll go over to the other text messages and I'll explain. that she's already lined up a sucker, right? Already. Don't be the sucker. She said it's Tuesday. Uh, and I don't know what the heck that is. But anyway, uh, so this is just one woman. Actually, this is two women having a conversation to my understanding. So not only is this woman culpable of being an illusionist for her own benefit, so is the other woman if you read the context, which I will do here. He's handsome. Girl, I like the energy so far from his photos. Girl, he just called me and he sounds so laid back. The only thing is he burped, I think she meant burped, in my ear. So that was a turn off, but it looks like he got money. So yeah, let's do this in capital letters. Let's do this. She says, yep, he looks like he has money. Play it sweet like you are. Yes, ma'am. Finna be on my feminine energy 100%. So women have the ability to appear, they know this because they already know the template that you like. You like your food cut, you like a little sloppy top, you like a little back rub, you like prim and proper, put you right to sleep, and she's on with the fuckery. They know you. That's why I said in my other live stream, men should stop dating, stop entertaining because because the environment is changing. You need to, when something changes, you need to step back and look at it. And then when it starts to settle, then you go in, you start doing your work. But the environment is changing right now. So these women that I'm expressing right now on the screen, they probably won't exist probably in the next year as they are today because the environment is changing. And BGS says, everybody knows this. When the environment changes, the women change. And the thing is, these women are going to mutate into something that you have not seen before because this environment is something that you have not seen before. You get it. You can almost expect that if you go to 1920s depression and you apply that to now, that some things will be different because of technology, but people's sentiments of how they will handle the situation will be liking of the 1920s because that is the environment, right? So this is an environment that you have not seen, so you can deduct from that reasoning that the women will be something that you have not seen before. But anyway, I don't want to go too deep in that. She says, play a sweet girl, he just came in. She's talking about the other dude. And that's where I want to end it with the text messages. Because I don't necessarily need to go into detail to make my point about any of the other things here. So, anyway, so you guys been texting it up, putting the comments. Yep, yep. I'm going to go through read a little bit. Let's see. Happens not to be a thug. It say Remy says, I'm not like some kind of Urkel or anything. I'm just a regular black guy that happens to not be a thug. Most black men are. Most black men are not thugs, to be honest with you. You know, in the black community, the minority of the majority is emphasized as being the majority. That's the reason why when other cultures come across this, it's like, why aren't you wearing baggy clothes? And we're like, what? you can be a properly dressed person all your life, and your peers may know you. We go to another country and they don't see you in the so-called thug attire that they have seen. They're gonna be baffled. They're gonna be like, oh, he talks proper. He takes pretty good English and he's not slurring his word. And he's not a rapper or a basketball player. What? I remember my brother went to China. He's a tall guy. He went to China, and they thought he was I think I think they thought he was Stefan Marbury or something like that. And I was just like, dude, you don't look like anything like Stefan Marbury. It's kind of funny that we say that all Chinese people look the same, but we look the same to them. Anyway, let's see. Uh, I wish there was a whole facts. Yeah, exactly. I think we all do. I wish we can go. I just got a divorce. I was married 10 years, and the dating scene was way different 10 years ago. Exactly, because the environment has changed from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were actually going through uh, what they call it, a repression, or uh, we were going through the market crash of 2008. So the environment was completely different than it is today. Uh, I was just going to skim through some of these. Sorry if I don't get all your. She gave the warning signs. Definitely, definitely. But the thing is, men create the illusion, so the warning signs are missed because the warning signs actually exist in the rational reality. Your descent from rationality causes you to aid in the creation and the perpetuation of the illusion itself. So that's what happened. Warning signs are not. That's how they're missed. He's chasing the carrot. He's chasing the high. That's what I look at it. There was no Instagram and Twitter, all these dating apps, and all. Yep, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, let me scroll through these. What long story short, I realized I was married to a demon. That's funny. Well, long story short, let's see. Fair enough. Let's see. Yeah. But it was all my fault. I made too many compromises. Exactly. I lost frame. I got comfortable with my wife. Lost. Yeah, you. The responsibility of maintaining a woman is that you always apply force. You have to, and I don't mean force as you punching her. That's not what I mean. I mean force as in you always give her a direction. She should always be propelled by your desire moving forward. That should be what motivates her. That should be what motivates you. So, in some way, shape, or form, like it can be very subtle. Like you don't have to be on her case all the time. I'm not saying like if she take a break, you're like, what the hell are you doing? No, no, no. What I'm saying is that there should be no point in time where she's asking you, what am I supposed to be doing? I already told you. I gave you your marching orders. That should be your response. That's the way I believe, anyways. Um, that's a hard pill to swallow. You'll be a greater man for it, though. Let's see what was said. But it was all my fault. Yeah. Yep. We, you know, I am not without failure. I'm going to tell you guys that I am not without failure. Um, I have been through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life. Period. I've made some very very poor decisions. Though they have decreased over time, nonetheless they were made. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I expect men to go through some level of something. But the thing is, the threshold of what they are accepting is too low. That's the problem. It's not that you're going through stuff. Like for instance, you just want to accept being a murderer. You won't accept, you won't go out and kill anybody because your threshold isn't that low for your respect for yourself and other people. So you won't do those things. We need to raise our threshold in how we deal with women collectively because the threshold is too low of what is acceptable that is leaving us victim to these types of problems. We should not be having these problems if our threshold was high enough to avoid them. So it is our threshold that is the problem. It is not the problem that we get ourselves into circumstances where we like, we probably shouldn't have did that because that's going to happen. That's inevitable. But the thing of it is, the nature of these problems is the problem. The nature of them. It's not the problem that you're having a problem with, that I'm having a problem with. It's the nature of the problems. The threshold is too low for this stuff. But anyway, that comes with teaching, that comes with practicing, that comes with understanding, that comes with passing down knowledge, that comes with having a record to go to in order to obtain knowledge. And that's what I'm doing here. That's what many men are doing here. We are creating a record in time for men to always have something to go to for the questions that they have about life, about finances, about politics, everything. That's what we are doing from our point of view. So it's not like a formal book or context, but it is definitely um, uh, a source of information. Better than nothing, in my opinion. I was doing everything on paper, making good money, making good moves, got out the house, keep myself up, etc. But as soon as we settle into the sitting on the couch watching TV lifestyle, she got bored. Of course, you always have to challenge your woman. It's like I would say women are like having a Doberman because I have a Doberman. This guy, he is so on the tens with the energy. Like, like I will bring him outside from being outside for 8 hours plus. He'll be outside all day because he needs to expend that energy. He'll come in and he will do literal circles around me at least 10 to 20 times. He has that much energy. So that dog was bred for uh high output, and I always have to give him something to do. That's why I'm talking to him. I'm talking to him. I, like every time I see him, I talk to him. I tell him to do something because he needs that. If he doesn't, he becomes destructive. And you should see my backyard. But anyway, uh, did you break it off? Also, you guys are just having a conversation there. Uh, but anyways, that's pretty much my message. I want to thank you all for coming out and spending this time with me. Your payment is just listening, and I appreciate your payment. Um, but if you guys don't have any more questions or anything like that, um, I'm here, I guess, for a few minutes. Uh, but if you guys don't have anything else to say in regards to the topic, I'm going to close it out and I'm going to call it a day. And I got to get the grilling. I got to grill some stuff today, right? Got to feed these kids and stuff, you know? They like grilled food. At least I hope. We're going to try it out. It's been a while since they actually ate grilled chicken. That should be interesting. Because it's not like dark meat. It's like white meat. Kids. They like to grab the bone and all that. There ain't no bone in these. So go out here, get this grill started, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I live leisurely. I want to encourage you guys, and I don't live leisurely just physically. I live leisurely mentally because I've reached a point of clarity in my life that I can hear myself. I charge for my peace. So, but if anything else, uh, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you guys have learned something from this, and I hope you guys hear what I'm saying, just not listening. But I'm going to call it a minute, and I'll see you guys next time. So, may you guys have a good day, and peace be with you.